How to change the rear brake pads on a Mini. This is a Mini Clubman Cooper S. This is a 2007 model. Probably applies for a few years around there. R55, R56 type model. It's a relatively straightforward job, so I'm not going to linger too much on it. And as you can see, I'm halfway through the job. Jack up the car for safety, put it on an axle stand. Of course, you need the parts in. I quite like to use these Mintex pads because, my experience, they're a bit more aggressive and give you better braking. So these are the part numbers for the Mini Clubman from 06 onwards and 07 onwards. You'll also need, or should replace the brake wear indicator. That part there. Brake pad wear indicator goes into the side of the brake pad, as you can see here. It's this bit here that has a wire on it. It's already broken off. They come on quite early. There's a fair bit of brake pad material that's left there. I didn't really want to change the pads at the time where the indicator went off, but I didn't want to have the indicator on all the time. So a little tip: if you take the wire that goes to the wear indicator and cut into it and just solder across or short across the two wires, that actually stops the indicator from being on all the time. Not something I'd recommend, but that's just what I did. I did that about 6 months ago. I do low mileage in this car, so I wasn't too concerned about the brake performance, because as you can see, there's loads of material left on here. Just wanted to delay it by a couple of months. So you'll need a 13mm spanner, preferably a socket on a wrench, short one, to get to these caliper guide pin bolts that go into here. 13mm bolts. You need a 15mm spanner to hold the end nut, stop it rotating as you undo the pin. These are the pin bolts. Quite often you'll get these bolts in with the kit, which comes with this one. Strangely, only 2 bolts for 4 pads. I guess they assume you just undo one bolt and swing it down, which might be possible, except for the fact that on the bottom you've got the handbrake cable, and at the top you've got the brake supply hose. So I'd recommend, well, I've personally found it easier to remove both of the bolts, which is also what the Haynes manual says. When you have the bolts off, check that these move in and out smoothly. If they don't, pull them out and re-grease them inside. Having got the pads out, so undo the 2 bolts, you'll need to lever this off the old pads. This piston needs pushing back if you're going to put new pads on, and at the same time you also need to release the brake cable from its end bracket. That just goes in there. You just have to lever that back a little bit to give you a bit of slack to pull off the cable. Handbrake off, of course. Wheels chocked. I also levered off these whatever you call them, probably springs or anti-squeal devices, just to give it a good clean out. Get a screwdriver in here, and that just pushes in with a spring load. I need a couple of hands to do that. Yeah, that'll go in there like so. So you can see how long the cable is for the brake wear indicator. A bit ridiculously long, really. You'll need to trace it back and replace the wire and its fittings, and it goes all the way down here, around here, and eventually ends up, let's get round, eventually ends up being connected on that plug there. It's got a little hole on the plastic underneath. You need to unplug it, release it from its clips, and put the new one on. So other things you'll need: some copper grease and some Loctite 243. Copper grease for smearing a little layer on the back of your new pad. That stops some squealing. Make sure it goes nowhere near the friction material surface or the brake disc itself. Also put a little bit of grease on the end pieces so that they can slide in and out if they need to as they wear down. So there's nothing terribly complicated about it, which is why I'm not going to linger too long on this video. I'll just show you when it's finished, and that'll be it. Alright, one little change to my plan. Despite being able to turn the piston with a wide bladed screwdriver, flat screwdriver and a wrench, I wasn't catching and wasn't winding in despite turning it lots of times. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So had to resort, like a lot of people do, to the brake rewind tool. Got this one very quickly and very cheap from Amazon, about 10 UK pounds, and arrived the next day, so probably within about 12 hours or something. Good old Amazon Prime service. And now it is starting to rewind in. Just have to adjust the tension on this nut so it doesn't go too tight but applies some pressure at the same time. It's quite an aggressive thread on this one, and it tries to push it in a little bit too quickly sometimes. So probably have to end up turning this center knob a little bit, but not quite as much as you're turning the handle. And eventually it's wound all the way back, as you can see there. And since I pre-fitted the wear sensor, then just got to feed that through the hole in the caliper. And then we've got enough space to fit the caliper over the new pads. Move the old wire out of the way. And that's the caliper fitted. Don't forget to put some thread locking compound back if you're using the old ones. And basically that's it. It's just got to thread through the wear indicator, feeding through where the old wire went, underneath the wheel arch, around the back there, over there. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Good luck with yours. Cheers. Bye.